Made with beer, onions, and sauerkraut, Instant Pot Brats are one of the easiest and most flavorful ways to enjoy bratwurst. Hi everyone, Kristen here. As someone who suffers from a chronic disease, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. Today I'm sharing with you the easiest way to make bratwurst using our Instant Pot. Now you may be thinking, seriously Kristen, brats in the Instant Pot? Yes. Absolutely, 1000% yes. Bratwursts are typically made by parboiling them and then finished on the grill to get a nice crispy exterior. We can speed up the process and achieve the most flavorful brats with a crispy exterior using our Instant Pot. So let's get cooking. To start, we're gonna turn our Instant Pot to saute. I'm adding in just a couple teaspoons of oil here, and we're gonna let that heat up for just a minute. While our oil's heating, let's talk about the broth. You wanna make sure that you select raw brats, not brats that are pre-cooked, as they won't absorb as much flavor when pressure cooked. And you wanna make sure that you use a fork and that you pierce your brats several times so that the casings don't explode when they're pressure cooked. Trust me on this, it's a step you don't wanna skip. My oil is heated here, and so I'm gonna place my brats right into the heated oil. We just want to brown our brats on each side just until they're nice and golden, and so that they get that nice crisp exterior that everybody loves on a good brat. Brats look nice and caramelized, so I'm going to remove my brats now and place them on a plate. To my inner pot, I'm adding in just a little bit more oil and then one thinly sliced onion. I'm gonna saute this onion up for just a couple minutes until it's nice and softened. I find that onions and brats are magic together. The onion's gonna work to flavor our bratwurst, and they're a great topping to our brats as well. It'll just take just a couple minutes here, and when your onion is looking nice and soft, you can cancel on your Instant Pot. And you know the drill. Anytime we use the saute function on our Instant Pot, we must deglaze the pan to prevent a burn notice. To do this, you want to add in thin liquid. Today, I am using a German beer. You can use a pale beer, any beer you like except a dark stout. And if you don't drink beer, you could use 12 ounces or 1.5 cups of low sodium chicken broth. I promise you it'll still be delicious. So I'm gonna add my beer now to my Instant Pot. And then I'm just gonna scrape all those brown bits off the bottom of my pot. Not only is that gonna prevent a burn notice, but all those little bits are really going to add flavor to the brats themselves. That's looking good there. So now I'm gonna place my seared brats back in my Instant Pot. I love to top brats with sauerkraut. It's a classic pairing that as a kid, I didn't much care for, but now I can't get enough of. So you wanna use about 12 ounces of sauerkraut. You can use bagged, you can use canned, you can use homemade sauerkraut, whatever you like. I do recommend draining off the juice. Certainly you could throw the juice in there, it's not gonna hurt anything. I'm just gonna spoon this sauerkraut over my brats, just right on top. And that's it. We're gonna place our lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure our vent knob is pointed towards sealed, not venting. And then we're gonna set our cooking time to cook on high pressure for 6 minutes. To do this, hit manual or pressure cook and use the plus or minus buttons to adjust until it reads 6. After the cooking time has elapsed, you wanna let pressure release on its own for at least 10 minutes. And that's crucial anytime you're cooking meat to keep it nice and tender. Then you wanna open up your Instant Pot. Oh, it smells so good in here. It reminds me of my childhood or a county fair or a German village. It's just a magical combination, and it couldn't be easier to make using the Instant Pot. Now you can serve your brats over mashed potatoes or alone as a low-carb meal. I grew up eating them on a hot dog bun, topped with some of that kraut, and even though I've lived in the South for 20 years now, My roots are in Cleveland, and so I have to use a little bit of ballpark mustard to top my brat. So thankful for my mother-in-law. She has stacked my pantry good with this mustard, so I'm set for a couple years now. And then I'm gonna go in for a bite here. Excuse me. The brat is crispy, and yet it's tender on the inside. It's absorbed some of that beer flavor and the onion and sauerkraut, and I'm telling you, the best way to make brats is using the Instant Pot. They absorb so much flavor when they're pressure cooked, and the results are perfection. Perfect for a party, perfect for entertaining, perfect just for a weeknight family meal. These brats also pair wonderfully with a side of Instant Pot corn, which I'm going to share with you in my next video. Until then, happy cooking.